This is our presentation, the verbal and nonverbal communication and group communication. All right. So, introduction to verbal and nonverbal communication. Communication is the process of exchanging information, of course, ideas, thoughts, feelings between individuals. In group settings, communication is essential because it allows members to collaborate, solve problems, and work towards shared goals. There are two primary forms of communication, verbal communication, of course, and nonverbal communication. Verbal communication is the use of spoken or written words to convey messages, while nonverbal is the use of body language, facial expressions, gestures, eye contact, posture, and tone of voice to communicate meaning. Research suggests that communication is the most effective when verbal and nonverbal combine, as these messages, I guess, create perfect communication between two individuals. What is verbal communication? Verbal communication is a process of using spoken or written language to share information, ideas with others. It is one of the most important tools for collaboration because it helps group members express thoughts, provide feedback, and make decisions. Some examples of verbal communication include group discussions and meetings, classroom presentations, email and text messages, instructions and feedback, asking and answering questions. Effective verbal communication requires clear and organized messages, active listening, respectful language, appropriate tone, and word choice, of course. When verbal communication is effective, groups experience fewer misunderstandings and are better able to accomplish their goals.
All right. How nonverbal communication functions. So, body language is a big part of it. Like movement and positioning of the body can show confidence, openness, or discomfort. There's also eye contact, so maintaining attention, showing interest, and building trust within the group. Facial expression is also shown, so it shows communicate emotions such as agreement, confusion, or frustration within speaking or without speaking. And then gestures, so this is hands and arms movement, emphasizing points and help clarifying messages. Posture is also a pretty big one. So how someone is sitting or standing upright shows engagement, while slouching may signal disinterest. So, how nonverbal signals affect group interactions? Nonverbal communication plays a major role in how messages are understood in group settings. Positive signals, the signals like eye contact, nodding, and open posture encourages participation and builds trust, while negative signals such as avoiding eye contact or closed off body language can create misunderstandings, reduce collaboration, and make others feel ignored or under uncomfortable. Overall, nonverbal cues can strengthen or weaken group communication depending on how they are used. And then the significance of verbal and nonverbal communication. So, builds trust, clear verbal messages combined with positive nonverbal cues, so eye contact and tone, can help create credibility and strong relationships. Prevents misunderstandings. Verbal clarity and supportive nonverbal signals ensures messages are interpreted correctly. Encourages participation, friendly tone, open body language can help groups members feel comfortable contributing, and then improves group effectiveness. When both communication types align, groups collaborate more effectively and make better decisions. And then the connection to virtual versus face-to-face communication. In a face-to-face settings, nonverbal cues like facial expressions, gestures, and postures are easily observed, making communication more natural and engaging. Then in virtual settings, these cues can be limited or hard to interpret, so verbal communication becomes more important. Participants must be more intentional with tone, clarity, and visual cues like camera use to maintain understanding and communicate.
All right. And then application of verbal and nonverbal communication during some CLC group activities. So I used my CLC group from back when we were doing the survival situation project because that was the one I had with the most communication being demonstrated in it. Um, Application of verbal and nonverbal communication is kind of an interesting topic to discuss when working with an online group that doesn't meet in person, because like this is the first time we as a group have even seen each other. Um, so verbal communication was demonstrated via sharing of ideas and debate within the chat, frequent messaging between members. So frequent communication, just popping in and making sure that you're not missing anything often, and then coordinating tasks between members using messages to discuss due dates and task management. And then nonverbal communication was a lot more subtle of a topic. So I'm going to use implicit norms as an example because those are dependent a lot on nonverbal since we don't state the norms that are being developed. So implicit norms developed such as being respectful and kind to other group members, staying on topic with the messages, and making sure that your given tasks was completed on time and properly, because these are things that developed via tone and just general communication, not necessarily explicitly laid out during the messages. So, to summarize that, nonverbal communication was far less present than verbal communication due to all of it taking place online with no physical interaction between group members. So, implicit norms developed via interpretation of tone during text, and that was the primary form of nonverbal communication, which, while works, is less reliable than being able to physically analyze someone else's body language. So in the chat, we all had to be quite literal and explicit with what we were saying and what we meant.
And then challenges and strategies for effective communication. I would say the challenges were scheduling conflicts between group members, and then miscommunication through text or online discussions, differences in communication styles and participation levels, and then technology issues during virtual collaboration. Those are all just different challenges that could happen when working with groups online. And then strategies for effective communication: establish clear expectations and deadlines early, practice active learning and allow all members to contribute, communicate respectfully and respond in a timely manner, so checking in every single day, use organized group messages and shared documents to stay updated, and then clarify misunderstandings quickly to maintain progress. And then communication and effective group presentations. So, how communication improves presentations, creates smooth transitions between speakers, helps maintain organization and presentation flow, increases audience understanding and engagement, builds presenter confidence and teamwork, and then reduces confusion and improves overall effectiveness. And then for our application to our CLC group, we communicated respectfully to choose our topic. Group members shared ideas and contributed equally. Communication helped divide responsibilities and complete tasks effectively. And then collaboration allowed us to create a stronger final presentation and make sure we were all on the same page.
All right. And then to conclude for this presentation, verbal and nonverbal communication both play a very important role in successful group work, as well as communication between individuals in the real world outside of projects. Um, Verbal communication enables members to share ideas, ask questions, divide their responsibilities, and make decisions clearly, while nonverbal communication allows for the creation of implicit norms and a more accurate interpretation of the true meaning behind verbal messages. So body language, eye contact, cues such as that can completely change the meaning of a stated message. In virtual group settings, nonverbal cues are incredibly limited. So clear wording, respectful tone, prompt responses, so checking in often and responding quickly when messages regarding you are sent, and the ability to provide clarification all become crucial for success for the entire group. And overall, effective communication helps reduce misunderstandings, build trust, encourage participation, and improves the quality of the project and the group's performance.
References and yeah. Cool.
Amazing.